Welcome to I'll Meet You There, Conversations with Women Lighting Brave Fires, a podcast for midlife women reclaiming authorship of their lives, lighting fires, moving through doubt, and taking brave, imperfect action toward the things that light them up. For years, I've been quietly having conversations with friends, colleagues, and clients in Zoom rooms in my local community and in spaces I've tried to create where women can talk honestly about what keeps them small, what fires they want to light, what strengths they already have, and what small, brave actions they might experiment with next. I've spent years working to come out of the shadows myself, and now I'm amplifying the voices of other women doing the same. Women still navigating self-doubt, comparison syndrome, imposter syndrome, and all the other things that try to keep us playing small, because this work is lifelong. But when we recognize ourselves in another woman's journey, something shifts. We feel a little less alone and a lot more inspired to keep going. The word fire starter was popularized by Shannon Watts, and I love it because it captures something I see happening everywhere. Women lighting both small and big fires in their lives. This podcast builds on that spirit, amplifying women who are finding their fires or already mid-burn, not finished products, but women in motion. Each week, I sit down with a fellow fire starter, a woman who has stepped outside of her comfort zone in big or small ways, to talk about what it really takes to play bigger. The doubt, the pivots, the messy middle, and the brave moves no one sees. This is a space where we don't pretend to have everything figured out. We think out loud, we question, we revise mid-sentence, we stay mid-burn so we can amplify what deserves to be seen. I'm Lisa, a national board-certified health and wellness coach and writer, and for years I've been having these conversations quietly with women about sleep and stress, self-trust and self-compassion, but also about ambition, identity, menopause, reinvention, and what happens when we realize we're not done yet. Because here's what I believe. When one woman lights her fire, it gives the rest of us permission to burn brighter. And that's how courage spreads. So go ahead, light something. I'll meet you there. Okay. And we're off. Today I'm here with the incredible Agatha Altarovici, and you're going to have to pronounce the name right.
Yeah.
But and today on I'll Meet You There, Conversations with Women Lighting Brave Fires. I think instead of going right into her background, we're going to start with what I'm calling the Fast Five, which is a rapid fire question and answer round. But before we do that, I want to say welcome, Agatha. And I want to say that we have been trying for 1 hour and 20 minutes to figure out how to record this video. So what you see is what you get.
Yeah, it's been fun, and I feel so bad because I am not. And first of all, thank you for having me, Lisa. This has been so. I just love hanging out with you through technical difficulties or anything. Any conversation or hang out with you on screen is so fun. And yeah, and I like to think I'm tech savvy, but I think Zoom is having Zoom and well, I'm not going to say the brand, the other brands. They're all just fucking with our brains. Oh, can we swear here?
I can.
Okay,
If I
great.
can, you can.
Okay, great.
I totally think that it's warranted in this case because we've been driving ourselves crazy for a while,
Yeah.
but we have been having fun too. So that's
Yes.
all that matters. Okay, so let's do the rapid fire question and answer. Favorite music genre?
Musicals.
Musicals. Oh, what's your favorite?
Oh, gosh, I have so many. Let me think, let me think. Mm, oh my God. Now that
What's
you're asking that,
what's the
uh,
last one you saw? Do you remember?
I think it's gonna be Wicked.
Oh
Right now,
yeah.
it's just because it's so, yeah. I've with the movie that came out, I just kept on like seeing it over and over again, and they adapted it so well. So I'm gonna say Wicked.
All right. Musicals. I love that. Um, milk chocolate or dark chocolate?
Dark chocolate. This is what I have right now
Oh, yum.
from
Wait,
Trader Joe's.
it's got raspberries. Oh,
Yeah.
yummy.
Yes.
Okay. Good choice. Oh, three
I love your
adjectives.
question.
I'm sorry.
I love your questions.
Oh, thank you. Three adjectives that describe your 12-year-old self.
Ooh, introverted, imaginative, and sensitive.
Oh, I love that. And do you still feel like you're all three of those now?
No.
None of them?
No, I'm not well, you know what? There's a little bit of that 12-year-old self, but I think after 40 I started blossoming.
Hey, it's never too late, right?
No, I definitely have part of that in me. Yeah.
I love that. Okay. What story about yourself have you outgrown?
Oh, that's a deep question. Mm, I think um I think lack of confidence. Yeah. I mean, we can go more into that, but really um as an entrepreneur in general, thinking that I'm not good enough when I do something and that other people can succeed more easily than I do, I think I've outgrown that.
Oh, what a huge lesson.
Yeah. Wow. And all of that is very recent.
Mm. Why do you think? Because you've been doing more and you're gaining the confidence through action?
I think it's because of ADHD meds. Uh, Um, you know what? I've been in a space, and you know that, with a lot of connections and a lot of connections with women who have the same values and the same grit and accomplishment. And I think that having so many connections, you just get that validation that you're sort of an equal. And so when you're in those spaces with so many amazing women who give that back to you, then yeah, I think you have that confidence of like, oh, maybe I am where I'm supposed to be. And this is like just being with you now. It's exactly that kind of moment.
I love that. That is so beautiful.
Hmm.
Mm. Yeah, confidence is one of those very elusive things. We think we're supposed to have it, but you can't get it until you do the things and you try the things and you surround yourself with people, like you said, who
Yeah,
validate you and respect you and tell you they
yeah,
validate you and respect you.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's everything. Yeah.
yeah.
So, what fire are you actively tending right now?
Hmm. Um, Actively, it's going to be my nonprofit. So it's been a year in the making, so it's not easy. And so it's called Rise and Lead Moms, and it's really about empowering moms and caregivers by providing them, well, moms and caregivers who are doing social impact work, whether they're nonprofit leaders or community organizers or they're running for office, any mom that is in the social impact space, mom and caregiver, I have a large definition of moms, by giving them coaching services and also a community platform. So, and that is what that's been my calling because it's a kind of population that not only I identify with, but also that I always wanted to support. And I think when you're a caregiver, you you're just you just have that natural uh first of all, that natural empathy, and you have that additional mental load. So you sort of have a superpower and a limitation at the same time. And I'm really trying to bridge the gap for that population, basically.
That's amazing. So, you're trying to instill confidence in them, kind of like you're doing with yourself through these groups and giving them some coaching, like some
Yeah,
coaching skills and some
yeah,
things they can use to more move forward, but also creating a space for them
yeah.
where they feel seen and valued and respected and that helps them sort of increase their platform or
Yeah.
their own giving back.
Yeah, and it's exactly that. And I think it comes from my experience with not only with coaching, but with personal growth. I think that my entire life that has been a big value of mine, whether it's through therapy, reading books, or whatever that is. I've always wanted to become a better human for myself. And then when I became a mother, for my children and for others. So I've always wanted to be a better self and to hold myself accountable to that level of being a better self. And when I discovered coaching, and that was recently through my previous job, I was like, wow, I didn't know coaching. I knew advising, consulting, therapy, mentoring, but I didn't know what coaching was exactly. And it's really being the guide to help the person find their own solutions. And I just fell in love with it. And I realized that through, and we can talk more about that, but through what I had done in the past, I was sort of coaching without knowing that I was coaching. I worked as a talent agent. I was doing some marketing consulting, and I always like to empower people. And I was sort of using the tools of coaching without knowing exactly what it was. So, yeah,
So you've always had this growth mindset, it sounds like,
yeah.
and you've always had this compassion and empathy for others. And then this is sort of my experience too. I came into coaching probably not till I was about 40. And when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, this is exactly what I've been looking for my whole life. I didn't know it existed, but it's so meshed with everything that I already believed and was already trying to do with people, and it just enhanced it. And it sounds like you had a similar experience.
Yeah. That's why we get along, Lisa.
That's
I,
probably true.
yeah. And I think, and we're surrounded also by many women who are transforming or have transformed after their 40s. And I love this cycle of life. I'm 45 now, turning 46, and I'm just, oh, I can't wait for my 50s. And I never thought I would be in that headspace. But what has come with, I don't know, just growth, being, having better entourage, knowing yourself,
Mhm.
uh, just being wise. It just feels amazing, and you bring so much to the world. So it's really cool.
Yeah, and I'm seeing this in more women. I've been surrounding myself with women for years now who are midlife. And this is what I'm seeing. We're all really starting to come into our own. We stop apologizing for who we are, and we're like,
Mhm.
I don't have as much time on this planet anymore, and I'm
Yeah,
going to stop messing around, right? It's like, I'm
yeah,
going to do what I want. I'm going to figure out what that is, and then I'm going to pour my heart and soul into it because I'm just done worrying about like how I come across to people anymore. And I want my voice to come through instead of
yeah.
hiding it like I used to do all the time. And it's like, and I'm seeing that. It's such a beautiful thing. I'm seeing that in so many women now. And it used to be, I think women were sort of pitted against each other because there
Mm,
was like, oh, there's scarce resources, especially for women. And so you have to stomp on somebody else to get ahead, especially if you're in corporate America, which I never did, but because I couldn't stand the thought of I have to stomp on somebody to move ahead. That's bullshit. I'm not going to
yeah.
do that. So I kind of always was a rebel and did my own thing. But I'm seeing women who are a little older really stepping into their power and owning their voices and not being as scared to be out there and speaking up, which is God, we need that now more than ever.
Yeah. And it's funny, is it me, or do you feel like there's like an army of women like that coming, and it coming into themselves and speaking louder and being fierce, or are we just realizing that they're there? But it's fascinating to me because I feel like we're in a very, very, very powerful time for women,
Yeah,
and I don't want to stop.
completely agree. Right. We don't want to stop because the thing is we don't want to go back. And so, and my husband and I talk about this. I don't think there is going to be a going back because the box is open. And I don't think that, you're seeing like the trad wives and the patriarchy tightening its grip because it's scared that it's losing control.
Yeah.
And because it is losing control, because I think enough women and enough good men are finally saying, okay, we've had enough, we're done, and we're not going back. That's at least that's the vibe I'm starting to get, which
Yeah.
I hope we continue with.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So, when did you realize that you were capable of lighting your own fire?
Oh, hmm. I think that the problem for me, and I don't like starting with a problem, was never lighting it because I think I always was able to listen to the spark and listen to my intuition. I changed careers and paths and countries many times. And I think the hardest thing for me has been being able to like sustain it,
Mm.
follow through, um, share it. And I can think of only like one time in my life where I did not fight and I didn't let myself, and I let myself down basically. But other than that, I feel like, okay, there's been that fire in me and okay, there's not one moment, or maybe I have to think about it. Um,
Well, what feels different now?
um, what I think what feels different now is the connections.
Mm.
It's really, and if we were to talk about the concept of bonfire, that you and I know really well, I think it's really connecting with other like-minded women, and I feel supported. And I think that before, I've always felt like when I tried something on my own, I felt alone. And that's really hard, especially when you like trying things, when you have that sort of entrepreneur mindset and, you're like, "Oh," I've always felt like, oh, if only I had a team, if only I had support, and if only, I would still do, but then at some point it would become exhausting because I was also a caregiver and so much on my plate. But now I don't feel that anymore.
Mm. And
So yeah.
you're getting probably more feedback from people. You're getting validation, but you're also getting feedback. So
Yes.
people are, able to say that's a great idea. And how would you make
Yeah.
that happen? Or like they're brainstorming with you or thinking things
Yeah.
through with you. And so there was this concept, I think, for the forever that women had to do everything alone and more bullshit patriarchy language. And I think women are starting to say I can't do it alone, and I don't have to, because more women are speaking up and saying I can't do it alone either. What if we help each other out?
Yeah. Yeah, and learning to ask for help is a big one.
Yes. Oh, it's
So yeah,
huge. It's
yeah,
huge. Yeah. I don't know where that comes from or why we're so afraid to ask for help, but I think maybe because we're afraid it will make us look weak. And it's actually the complete opposite. But until you recognize it's the complete opposite, you won't
yeah,
do it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That is so true. And and also it's crazy to me because we are afraid it's going to make us look weak, yet we do so much that it's the last thing people think of us, that we are weak. So yeah,
And I think that's a lot of it, right? Like other women, we can empathize with, sympathize, really, also empathize, but with each other, like, oh my God, I have not asked for help and it was destroying me. And I wasn't getting anywhere in my career or my entrepreneurship or anything. And then I started to ask for help and I noticed that everything was changing. And And then you can inspire another woman to do the same thing, like
yeah,
just by being present with her and showing her that you value her and respect her. And you're doing the same thing for her that you wished somebody had done for you, right?
absolutely. And it feels so good. It feels
Right.
so good to show up for other women, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So
What do you think keeps women small?
well, the ideas we grew up with, what's been put in our heads, and that we're supposed to have a certain role in society. And make people happy. That's our role. We're the nurturers, caregivers, and we have to learn that we can still do that with boundaries, with strength, with a louder voice, um, with power. We're afraid of that. With wealth, I
Yeah.
think that there are so many, terms we're afraid of, and we're afraid of going after because, we fear we're not going to be liked, or that our missions and purpose will have less value because we go after power. But yeah.
Or arrogance, right? That's another one.
Yeah.
Women are taught to don't be arrogant. Don't say anything that sounds arrogant or,
Yeah.
or that you know too much because that's just not the way we do things. And so
Yeah.
we tamper down what we're going to say for fear of coming across as arrogant or unlikable. I mean, God forbid a woman should be unlikable. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, it's like, it's
Yeah.
insane. So when you feel stuck, what is your first move?
Um, Calling my therapist? No, I'm
Ah, that's
joking.
a good answer. That's a great answer.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But it's not true. I do like I do reach out to her whenever I need, and I love my therapist. Um, when I feel stuck, um, um, I will. You know what? I think, and that's not the best thing to do. I think I should ask for help when I feel stuck and I don't do it. I think I move on to a different thing, a different strategy. Because I'm a problem solver, so I don't like feeling stuck. And also, like, I don't feel I feel stuck a lot. So, but if I have that feeling, like there's something wrong, basically. So I'm just gonna try to
You pivot.
I pivot. Yeah, exactly. So I think that what brings me down is not the feeling of like feeling stuck, it's more anxiety. It's like being just having too much, having too much on my plate, having to like it's not going to be stuck in something specific. It's going to be an overwhelming feeling of, oh, right now this is just too much. Yeah.
Yeah, and when that happens, what do you do? I mean, I know you go to yoga.
Yeah, I go
Yeah.
back to, that's what I was gonna, like, it's going back to self-care.
Ah,
And I feel like I'm feeling it less now and in maybe the past year because I made it a priority. Right now, it's not my self-care, and self-care is not my nails or my hair. Like, I mean, I did it for the podcast, but that's it. Like it's really what feeds my heart and soul at the core. What feeds my body and mind at the core is going to be my hot yoga or hot Pilates, like going there in my community space. I love it. Now I do pottery also, and that is a new passion of mine. And I found it's like therapeutic, creative, and that has been like, yeah, not even 8 months. But right now I'm doing it every Sunday afternoon. It's a non-negotiable. And like, friends are doing something, are you free? No, from that time to that time, I am just not available. Not for my friends, not for my husband, not for my kids. It's just that. And I think that um yeah, that self-care is at the core. And
and
connections.
yeah. So non-negotiable self-care and connections. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are huge things that I think a lot of people don't recognize they're missing. And I don't know that we stopped to ask ourselves, what does self-care look like for me? Um,
What does it look
sometimes
like for you?
well, I mean, it just varies. Like for me, it's always exercise first and
Yeah.
foremost. Like because I mean, it releases all the feel good chemicals. And when I'm on my Nordic track bike and I'm riding through Patagonia and wishing I was there, or at the gym lifting heavy weights and feeling
Yeah.
strong and powerful, it's like everything else is just, I'm not thinking about anything else. I am just in that moment and the feel good chemicals are kicking in. And so my husband and I work out together all the time.
Oh,
And
that's
yeah,
cool.
it's really nice. It's nice because if one of us doesn't want to go to the gym, it's like, do you want to go? Yes. Okay, we're going. It's very rare that both of us will say no at the same time.
Oh,
Very rare. So we always go to the gym together. Um, yeah.
yeah.
So that for me, I think would be the beginning. And there's a lot of stigma attached to like I I would love to sit on the couch and read for hours at a time sometimes, but sometimes I'm like, "Oh, but that's so lazy or it's not productive, it's not." And so what I do is say I'll set an intention like I'm going to sit on the couch for an hour and read. And then I don't feel bad about it because it was my intention to do it all along. So if I can make it into this intention thing, then it's part of my self-care, right? Like as soon as
Yeah.
you make it your intention, like your pottery, is your intention every Sunday, then you're
Yeah.
like, okay, this is a non-negotiable. This is part of my self-care and I'm not going to let it go.
I love that because I wanted to find time to read more. And I've had that feeling of,
Ah,
okay, but I did yoga today and I do, I have my time at pottery. Maybe I don't have that reading leisure time. So, and also like even disconnecting sometimes in front of the TV, it's something that my husband and I do together. So I'm like, ugh, if I go read alone, then I don't do like our little together activity. I mean, we have a boring life these days, but whatever. But I will say this, I want to pivot back to interesting things. I want to learn more about the weight training because now I'm thinking that we could go to the gym together because my husband has been slacking at going to the gym. And yeah, and I've seen a lot of women doing weight training, and that's something that I've never done. And I was like, oh my God, she does that and she does that. And so I'm really interested. So I wanna pick your brain about it. What does weight training do for you?
oh, wow. Well, I started powerlifting when I was about 38 or 39, and it just changes your whole demeanor. It changes it gives you this sense of power. The strength of it gives you a sense of power that I did not have before. And I see it like I used to train other women when we co-owned a gym. And it was especially rewarding when I was training my mom and her friends who were in their mid to late 70s. And they would come in, and most women would come in and say, I don't want to bulk up. That was always the
Yeah.
big thing. And so we wouldn't argue. We would just say, okay, great. So we would start putting weight on the bar. And after a week, they would go, I want more weight on the bar. Okay, I want more weight on the bar. And you could just see their whole demeanor. They would stand up taller and prouder, and
Yeah.
their back was straight. And there is just something that's insanely empowering about being a woman and being able to lift heavy weight. I don't know how to explain it any better than that, but
It's
it's
fantastic, and let's talk more about it because I'm hearing it again and again, and right now I'm very like tuned in with the universe and what the universe is telling me, and yeah, this is coming up for me, so I want to
ah,
give it a go and talk to you about it.
yes. Oh, definitely. I mean, I'm happy to talk about that anytime. Like
Yeah,
we can
okay,
go over
cool.
like how to get started and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The one thing I do recommend is at some point having a trainer
Yeah.
look at your form because if you
Yeah.
start lifting heavy weight, form is the most important thing to get right because you don't want to get injured. But
Yeah.
yeah, I am gonna be so curious to see what you think about it. I know I think a lot more women, and what I love is that a lot more celebrities are starting to female celebrities are starting to weight train, and they're not afraid to tell you that they're doing it because
Yeah.
they're proud of it too. There's something extremely powerful about feeling strong as a woman in
Yeah.
particular. Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah, it,
nice.
it goes back to women, owning their power, and it's the time.
Yeah. So what else? What else do we want to talk about? What have we not covered? Um, hmm.
I mean, you know that like we can chit chat about everything and anything for hours. So,
Well, I'm curious, like what message about women did you have to unlearn?
mm, I'm gonna say okay, it's gonna sound fake when I say it now because I really told you before this podcast, oh, I haven't done my hair and makeup in so long and all of that. But I think
Mm.
it's really about appearances
Hmm.
and how like appearances are so important for women to be seen and heard. And yeah, and I mean, like I so rarely do my makeup now. Like I don't wear makeup, I don't know, except on a night out or on your first podcast. Uh, but and I am taken so seriously in every room, and I am valued, I can inspire people. Um, so like there's no, yeah, I think that's something that I had to unlearn.
That your appearance was tied to your
Yeah.
worth.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Thank you for summing it up in a better way.
You said it beautifully.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. It's one of those things that like I was having this conversation with a friend who is a confidence coach
Mm,
and she lives in England and she was saying when she went to her corporate job for like 30 years, she dressed to the nines and she had her makeup on and she
mhm,
was going out to she stopped wearing makeup completely after she quit the job, but she was going out to lunch with some friends from the old job and she was like debating with herself, do I wear makeup? Don't I wear makeup? Because I'm
yeah.
not the same person now that I was then. And she decided in the end to wear makeup to lunch because she said they never knew her outside of the non makeup wearing phase. And so she didn't feel comfortable doing it. But how much emphasis that, we put on our appearance. And I do it too. I mean, I
Yeah.
won't like the pandemic was so freeing in a lot of ways because when we were wearing masks, I didn't give a shit
Yeah.
whether I had a
Yeah.
face full of makeup on.
Yeah.
And and now I'm back to, well, just a little bit of this or a little bit of that. Like I don't feel comfortable without a little something on.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know where that comes from.
Yeah. I
It's,
mean,
I mean, at this
what
stage,
I I like I can go on and on where it comes from and like, okay, for me, how did it come from? Like, how were women in my family? How did I grow up? What models did I have? And we can talk about where it came from, but I'm still wondering now, what choices are we making now and for what? And I think you talked about intentionality, and this is why I feel strong today, is because I tend to do everything with intentionality.
mm,
And if I put makeup, it's going to be very intentional. I know why I do it. If I don't put it, it's going to be intentional. How I show up in work, in parenting, in anything, that's what is making me feel good, feel authentic, is just being intentional, on what I'm doing. And I think about, and I have this, I think I put it, okay, loading. I know what I want to say. I put this in my email signature, and there's this quote that I love. I love this quote. And I feel bad because I'm all about women empowerment in my job, work, mission, but it's a man quote, but I love what he writes. It's James Clear from Atomic
oh, love
Habits.
him. Love
Yeah,
him.
I know. All my books are women, and then there's the James Clear book.
We'll
And he
consider
said,
him an honorary woman.
yeah, exactly. It's every action we take is a vote for the kind of person we wish to become. And
Mm.
I love, like, when I read that quote, and like at some point I put it on my wall in my previous apartment. I just love it because that's how I want to show up. What am I doing today? What action am I taking? Is this in alignment with who I want to be?
Mm.
And that's how I was able to start things that I never thought I would do. I started running, I started doing yoga, I learned to roller skate, or like, okay, that's the person who I want to be. I want to be that brave 40-year-old mom doing that. So, and I can do anything that way. So,
I love it.
yeah,
So intention equals
intention.
authenticity.
Yes.
Intention equals authenticity. And even bigger is you are matching your actions with your core values.
Yes.
And that's what I think, one thing that women, if they want to start feeling more empowered, can start doing is figuring out what their core values are and then how they're going to match their actions, right? So, like if somebody believes in being, if kindness, like that's one of my biggest values, and I show it in pretty much, I try to show it in every interaction I have with anybody all the time because
Yeah.
it's something I truly believe in.
Yeah.
And so I think when women start to take the time to figure out what their core values are, then they will figure out how to implement them. And they will feel that is, to me, it's intention, but it is how you get to complete authenticity, right? You don't have to fake it anymore if you're matching what you
Yeah.
believe in with what actions you're taking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah. And what your core values are at in this season of life,
Right.
and the next
Right.
one. And yeah,
Yeah. And
that's
that's a
gonna
part of
go.
growth mindset
Yeah.
too, right? Is
Yeah.
like allowing yourself to change with the seasons or change with,
Yeah.
the changing seasons of your life or whatever that looks like. Yeah.
No.
It's interesting. I mean, we have a lot of work to do, but I also feel like we've come such a long way. And I think we're really starting to see that in not just our small groups, but on bigger stages.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's more than starting to see that.
Yeah.
We're we're already there in a way that is very powerful, and I think we just have to there's a fight right now. We have to put our fighting gloves on, and we have to, you know, take what we are due. That no, really, like it's and also, okay, this is bear with me. I'm gonna be in little utopia mode. I think that if only because I think power is a very important thing right now because it's being taken away from us in so many ways, in horrific ways. So, in the same vein that in our groups, women are empowering other women, we're creating connections, we're lifting each other up. I think at some point, women at the top
Mhm.
who have the most power in terms of money and influence and like not naming any names, they have a responsibility right
Mhm.
now, a huge responsibility to just say, okay, you with power, you with power, you with power. All we have to do is come together and figure out ways to get the power back for women.
Mhm.
There, again, utopia, but now is the time. They're there. There
Yeah,
is power and wealth at for women.
absolutely. Absolutely. And I think it also, I think it can trickle up too. I think that women who feel like they don't have any power can start thinking about the ways in which we do have control. We vote with our money. We vote with our pocketbooks, right? Women have the majority of spending power in this country, and God forbid if we pulled together and said we are not fucking giving our money to patriarchal organizations
Yeah,
anymore. That's one way to do it. But for me, I think it's like sidestepping the patriarchy.
yeah,
Like if you start with those top up women and go down, but if you also start at the bottom, and what I think we're starting to see is people doing this, like women starting to say, I'm not going to fall for this anymore. I'm not even going to acknowledge that you exist, patriarchy. We're done, And so that's like, I don't know that we have to even go through it to get out
yeah.
the other side. I think we can create our own path to get there.
It's just going to take more time. Like, I think we're already doing like grassroots movements of women. We
Yeah.
always fight. Like
Mhm.
women like us, we're always fighting.
Yeah.
We're always the first ones in the front line and we're good at that.
Yes.
But at the same time, hey, let's put your money where your mouth is
Mhm.
and support us who are always in the trenches, you know?
Yeah, but I think that maybe the difference that we're starting to see now is that you're seeing these organizations like Red, Wine, and Blue and
Yeah.
Shannon Watts Group and all
Yeah.
that. They're starting to, I think, make this happen they're connecting people. So we don't have to do it alone, and we don't have to find the people to connect with because it's built in now. It's
Yeah.
becoming more built in. And I think that's why we're starting to see more movement here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And at
I,
the same time, even these organizations and they're with us in the trenches. Those are organizations that are already in the trenches. I'm like, I want to see things happening way higher. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I agree. And I don't know why they're
Yeah.
holding back. I am actually quite surprised now that you bring this up that you're not hearing more from like Oprah
Melinda
Winfrey and
Gates
Brene
or
Brown and right,
exact.
Melinda
Well,
Gates and Mackenzie Scott and
yeah.
these women in
I,
these in
yeah.
powerful positions.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, like, I think, yeah. I want to see where the money is and where women with money, how they can like help us and support us.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, then what's one small brave move women listening could take this week?
Um, one small,
Brave move.
I think searching in themselves. Like
Mm.
I think it's individual. It's an individual move. What they know. You know what you've been holding from and I don't want to hear that voice. No, that's too hard. No. So I think just listen to the voice that says no, that's too hard and that's exactly what you're supposed to do.
Right outside your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because once you do it, you just build the resilience muscle. And I think it's just like weight training. I think it's just practicing and practicing and practicing
Yeah.
any kind of muscle, growth mindset, resilience muscle, whatever you want to call it. But just keep on trying and practicing and doing the hard thing and it becomes easier.
And listening to yourself and learning from the experience, right?
Yeah.
There's like something we learned in coaching was there's no such thing as failure, only feedback. So if you try something and it didn't work, you didn't fail, you just learned something about
Yeah,
yourself. And now you can take that with you to the next lesson, right? So
exactly.
when you let go of this fear of failure, you're more willing to try things.
Hmm.
And then eventually you kind of find that thing that is really calling to you, at least in that moment where your energy is really flowing. And that's because you've been listening to yourself. You're paying attention to yourself now. So I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think it's a great start.
Yeah.
It's
Can
a
I
great,
ask you something?
of course.
Can is there one moment in your life, like one failure or one thing you tried and you just fell on your face
Hmm.
and you're like, "Oh well, I tried. I learned."
God, wow, great question. I'm trying to think. I do remember I did one powerlifting competition in my life, which was enough. But
Yeah.
I was 45 years old at the time. And I got in there and I thought I knew what I was doing. I'd never done this before. And I was doing a squat and I had 185 pounds on my back. And I had 3 tries to get it, or I was out of the entire competition. I couldn't even compete in the other 2 lifts. And I failed the first time and I failed the second time because I did not go low enough on the lift because I had never done this before in a competition. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be disqualified after all this work I've done. And I, instead of thinking, oh, it's over, I've just failed, the crowd actually lifted me up. Like literally, they were screaming so loud for me that I got the lift on the third try. It was insane. I had never been in an experience like that before. And this is, I'm an introvert. I guess I'm an extroverted introvert. So I get most of my energy from either being in an incredible conversation like this or kind of being home and doing my own thing. So this was way out of my comfort zone to do this thing and to be in a room of hundreds of people that are screaming my name. I couldn't believe this was happening. But I got all the energy I needed to get that last lift. And so I failed twice. And I think what I learned was I could do it. I could do hard things. That was maybe the first time in my life where the lessons sank in. I can do hard things.
Hmm. I
Yeah.
love that. Oh, I love that. I love that story. Do you
Yeah.
have a video of it?
Yeah, somewhere.
Okay, I want to see that.
Okay, I'll Yeah, it's pretty amazing to hear your name in
Yeah.
the background. And they're going, Lisa Schreiber's doing 185, blah, blah, blah. And everybody's in the background, go, Lisa, go, Lisa. And it was
Yeah.
like, it
Oh
was
my God, that's
crazy.
so cool.
Yeah, that was a wild experience.
Oh.
Oh, well, I just want to thank you, my new fierce friend, for trusting me
Mm.
and jumping into this fire with me. You are such a badass. I can't even tell you. I've loved talking to you. I always do.
Yeah, well, I mean, same. If we want to continue on, we did an hour before of Love Fest, saying how great we were, how much we loved each other, and our hair, and all our compliments. So yeah, like I can go on and on about how much I admire you. I love what you're doing. I love
Oh,
speaking with you, and yeah, and I love how you have this ability just to make space and
oh,
for women. It's really
wow.
great and authentic and yeah.
That is
So
about the best compliment I may have ever heard.
yeah,
Thank
yeah, that's
you.
what I do. Toss, toss.
I love it. I love it.
Oh,
Oh, all right.
okay.
So, for everyone listening, whether you're discovering your fire or already mid-burn, I'd love to keep the conversation going. You can find me on Substack or at lisakschreiber.com. I'll link to everything below, including I will link to Agatha's, some of your social media, if that's okay.
Yes.
All right. In the meantime, light your fire, take one brave step. I'll meet you there.
Bye.
Thanks for being here.
Yay.